downplay. He didn't just say, send me more. He'd be like, you look so sexy, I'm so hot for you, whatever. And then they would send it, and then they would get more.
You ever meet with any of these people?
No, like I literally don't even remember a name of any of these people. Like in my mind at the time, I'm like, I'm not doing anything. I'm sitting at home. Like I haven't seen her in like.
Extend his position. He received the videos from random people, yes, when Sophie was not near him. Think we can do home when you there. The best
Yeah,
what we
as
can
long
do.
as you're honest.
It's masturbating.
Yeah, but
It's the best.
Yes, but
it's
as long
not
as,
cheating.
as long as
But
you're honest.
You know what's so crazy? The fact that we're still here talking about what cheating is. You know, everybody's always going to have an opinion of what cheating is. And obviously, usually my answer is very simple. My answer is cheating is cheating. No matter how you want to look at it, cheating is cheating. If you're going to talk to somebody else and then you take them, send you pictures of themselves naked, that is still a form of cheating, right? You see what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, you are showing yourself that you want someone else to show you what they look like rather than appreciating the person that you have. Which is why I guess in relationships, maybe your partner should be the one you're asking to send you certain things if you need them to be sent to you, if you want to therefore use them to play with yourself. You see what I'm saying? But having someone else's images sent to you to play with yourself, that is very, very strange. That is definitely saying that your eyes are looking elsewhere. If your eyes are looking elsewhere, you may not touch, but is it cheating? Well, I mean, definitely. I mean, listen, fair enough, if you're outside in public, you're walking, you see people, different conversation. But at the end of the day, like, if you're in a situation where you're actually then approaching that person, having a conversation with that person, taking that person's number down or social media or whatever it is, well, there you go. That's where the problem's at. This is what I'm saying. So at the end of the day, like, I don't know why this is freaking a conversation still. Why they're talking about the ins and outs of the differences is ridiculous. The fact that Igor was like, well, it's like a virtual game. You know, it's okay for guys to speak to other women and request videos and pictures. Like, what? Make that make sense. You see what I'm saying? If the woman you're with now isn't giving you those things because that's something that you like, well then maybe you have to leave and find someone else that's going to give you those things when you're not together, rather than seek somebody else. Do you see what I'm saying? Because this whole situation is absolutely bonkers to me. But nonetheless though, before we continue into the rest of the freaking videos in particular, we are now on the road to 60k subscribers, and we are going to do our best, ultimate best, to get there before the end of March, and I believe we can make it happen. But with that being said, like the video and let's continue with this interesting topic.
As long as you're honest.
You don't see anybody. This is like virtual game with the glasses, you know? VR glasses.
Not that statement, but I'm trying to tell him, like...
Can you be clear?
But this just works. You don't see anybody. I understand why a woman bought a lot of cats there.
I now check everything. Like before, when he came here, like I think people should have privacy and I didn't check stuff. Right. But now I just feel like I don't think he would do that to me again.
Is it wise to marry someone that you feel like you have to check their phone? Make that make sense? You know, why would you want to be with somebody that you feel like you have to check their phone? You know they're not going to do it again, but you still want to need to check their phone. That is called trust issues within the relationship. No one should be marrying if there's trust issues within the relationship. You see what I'm saying? In my opinion, personally, if there's ever a point where trust issues was made because somebody did something wrong, in my opinion, I feel like that's the moment that people should separate. Some people like to stick around and work on them. I get it, but the way I look at it is, if once a trust has been broken in some format, it will always be there to be triggered at any time. You see what I'm saying? It's like a release clause. It's always going to be there. But remember that time we did this? Remember that time? You see what I'm saying? So, for me personally, I always say that if people decide to walk, if somebody decides to break the trust in the relationship, once it's been broken, again, you have a choice to work on it. But for me personally, I'd rather just walk away, because why? Then you have to go for the headache of trying to build that trust. And building trust is a long freaking journey. And it is tiring. It is draining. But that's just my opinion. But we continue.
Yeah. Paying the rent, me.
She paid our rent in Mexico?
Which one? Yeah.
She's fine.
The fact that Rob had no idea that when they were in Mexico, a part of the rent was coming from Claire is crazy. The fact that Sophie kept that to herself is crazy, because obviously he thought that, you know, this is money that she was bringing, but she was working. And this is the issue. There's been this pressure towards Rob with finances. But yet this whole time, Sophie's finances hasn't even been in a good place. She says in this video that at the end of the day, why would I want to move somewhere and live in this place when you and I were together for like 2 years or whatever it was? In that time, you could have been working together to a better place. And on top of that, she says that, you know, it's different because I know that if I was living here, I would be able to buy my own property or rent my own property that would give me everything that I need. Because I know I can do it, I expect him to be able to do it. But yeah, hold on a minute. When you was in Mexico, your mom was actually paying the whole time. that means you're literally asking him, you're asking something of him that you know you can't provide for yourself. Because if you could, then why wasn't you? Do you see what I'm saying? I'm not saying it's wrong for her to expect him to have a home ready. I'm not saying it's wrong. That makes complete sense. But for them to put this pressure on him and for Sophie to sit there and say that, well, I could do it myself, when clearly you can't. Clearly you couldn't, because your mom was literally paying for you. Do you see what I'm saying? But this is the thing with Sophie. Sophie loves to always put the blame towards Rob. You know, never want to take any accountability, always trying to find a way to say, Rob did this, Rob did this. Rob says something very interesting within this video, and we'll touch on it when we get there too.
I don't think it matters who paid for who in the situation. I think
Did everything in his power to try to make Sophie welcome. He would have done things better if he could have. I don't think he should be attacked like that.
Well, he like attacked who Rob is, like his character, saying he's boring. Like, I mean, that stuff hurts, especially from your mother-in-law.
Facts. You know, this man is doing the best he can. Listen, I've never been a fan of Rob. You know, I mean, Rob is a very interesting guy. But the fact is, though, his character has been attacked multiple times by Sophie's mum. Even by us. I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to say as if I haven't neither. Because obviously, you know, he's done very questionable things. But I think at the end of the day, in this situation, Sophie decided to continue to marry him. And I feel like Claire needs to basically get rid of her ego and just basically support. You know, that's that. But the thing is, though, there's a reason why Claire feels... There's a reason why Claire feels that she has this open space to always put Rob down no matter what. Why? Because she knows her daughter will always pick her first. If she felt like she felt like as if she was going to lose Sophie at one point, I don't think she'd speak as much. I feel like she'd humble herself. She'd say less. But because Sophie always takes her side, that's why she's always feeling free to say exactly what she wants to say, regardless. And that's where Sophie has to come in play. But Sophie won't come in. She won't come in and defend Rob. She won't take his side. She'll always take her mom's side. And that's where the biggest problem is always going to be in their relationship. Like, Sophie needs to check herself. Like, she needs to recognize what's more important to her relationship with her husband or her relationship with her mother.
Still believe today that he is not the right man for her?
Well, yeah, because only not because of his money, not because of his finances, not because of the way he lives. He speaks to her and the way he treats her. He doesn't make her feel like a princess.
Trying to basically flame the person that your daughter's in love with constantly, like just trying to convince them constantly that this person is just trash. Yeah, that sucks.
The interesting part is when Rob speaks up about this, right? The host goes, yeah, and then moves on. Why wasn't this part touched on? This part here should have been touched on a bit more about what he's expressing, about what he's feeling here. He's basically saying that my feelings, my emotions, my mental health is being ignored. It's always about them and never about me. I feel like that should have been touched on, to be honest with you. But hey, sadly in this life, when it comes to men and how we feel and our mental health, well, it is what it is. Yeah, but if she had said it, different conversation. Just saying. We continue. Also, I know you're still here, and because you're still here, you want to hit that subscribe button, help us get to that 60 freaking K. Come on now, let's make it happen.
I think you guys got to cut out the mom, like when it comes to you guys.
yeah, I would never cut out my mom. That's the thing.
And that's the problem. And that's a very common thing with girls in the UK. You know, I'm not going to say it's every girl in the UK, but there's a lot of women in the UK, for some reason, they never want to cut off their parents, you know, and but the thing is, it's not a matter of cutting them off. Sam merely says at the end of the day, when it comes to your relationship with your husband, you need to separate from your relationship with your mother. That's it. That's what he's saying. But for some reason, when you say this certain things to some women here in the UK, even some men, to be fair, but I don't know about that because I've never dated men, of course, you know what I mean? But I know if within British women. And at the end of the day, if there's ever a point where you say, hey, I feel like your family's getting a bit too involved in our relationship, we need to be able to separate the two. They're like, nah, I can't do that. My family always going to matter to me. I love them, blah, 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 blah. And the crazy thing about it is that they're misunderstanding what you freaking mean. Do you see what I'm saying? What the person's trying to say is that, listen, if you want your relationship to work, you're going to have to separate the two some way, somehow, because you can't keep allowing these opinions to keep coming in and out. But this goes back to what I was saying before. There's a reason why Claire is so comfortable speaking up, because she knows no matter what, the daughter's always going to have her side. And that's a problem, because she's always going to be saying things that's going to make Rob feel like absolute crap. And the worst thing about it is that no matter what Rob does, he's never going to be good enough. And that's just the side of reality. And if I was Rob personally, I would have never married Sophie in the first place, because like I always say, be careful the family that you're marrying into. And for him, he is now married into this BS. Hey.
I think this. Your mom said that I should have basically forgot the K-1 visa process and not brought you to America when I did. Do you agree?
And I just wanted, when I got here, you did your part, and it felt like I did everything, and I came to, you still live in a place where I don't even feel safe. And ultimately, maybe you should have waited to bring me there.
But you do realize if I would have said, all right, let's not do it right now, then we wouldn't be together?
Sophie is not reading between. Sometimes I wonder, does she act dumb on purpose? Do you know what I mean? Like, He's telling you clear things here. And you can't answer the question directly. You're just weaving around and talking BS. This girl has truly been too spoiled. It's so sad to watch.
Waited through the K-1 visa process, we would have basically been throwing that away.
The biggest thing about marriage, at least to me, is like as your spouse, you should be their biggest advocate. You think your spouse is wrong, but you still defend them in the moment, and then you can like talk to them privately after.
Oh, Devin, spoken like a true freaking wife. That's it. You see what I'm saying? But hey, what is Sophie now? Spoiled.
At all. I think
He just wants to be appreciated for everything that he's
It's like
doing.
regular appreciation. Like, nothing crazy.
it's a huge
Appreciated by his wife.
Never grateful. Like, you never.
And that's what it is. She's never grateful. Sophie is never ever grateful. Well, let me not say never ever as if I'm in their freaking relationship, but it seems as if she can never be grateful for anything that he does. There's always a complaint somewhere, somehow. And the crazy thing about it is that when it comes to her not being grateful, there's always a complaint that comes from her. And if it's not coming from her, it's coming from her mum. There's always a tag team going on against Rob, which is why, again, I don't understand why he chose to still marry her. Why did he waste his time? I have no idea. He should have walked away a very, very long time ago.
Been grateful. It's not I'm grateful all the time.
Half truths to make me sound bad, and it's not
It's
true.
not a half
You do
truth,
these
Sophie.
half truths all the time.
Listen, I've said what I've said. I don't think there's anything else that needs to be said. End of the day, the biggest mistake that Rob made was marrying Sophie. It's simple as that. Because I don't think that she's going to change. Well, she won't, because her mom's always going to be there. The only time she's ever going to change her attitude is the moment that she said, you know what, I'm ready to separate my family from my husband. The day that happens, that's when things will start to get better, hopefully. But until that day, things are always going to be this way. And Rob, good luck to you, because you're going to be in for one hell of a roller coaster. I wouldn't want to be you, buddy, but hey, you made your life choices. But nonetheless, though, let me know what you're thinking down below and we'll talk about it. Don't forget to like, subscribe, 60K, and of course, peace.